So, you want to do the intro, or you want me to do it?
I want me to do it.
Okay, I want you to do it too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Phil. This gentleman over here that you can't see, his name is Truman.
Hey guys,
We're the Chatmen.
we're gonna watch another movie.
Yeah.
I had so much fun watching Dread last time.
Yeah, man, that was the best.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
But this movie, we gonna say the title right now, or?
Well, first, since I had Rotten Tomatoes pulled up anyway, did a little investigating, and I'm thoroughly upset about something, Phil. I'm upset. I gotta let you know something.
What?
Why is Frozen like the greatest animated picture of all time? That's stupid.
Have you seen it?
No. But here's
Okay.
the thing. Lego Movie, which did great, it got better reviews, there's potential for super marketing. Why isn't it the greatest one? Why did we all cling to
Because
Frozen?
it's not Disney. Wait, it is.
It is. I think it is.
I don't know.
Warner Brothers. You think that's the deciding factor?
Maybe.
Because Frozen's got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. Not too shabby. 89. 89.
Yeah.
Lego Movie has a 96. That's like Toy Story level good.
Yeah.
A 96.
I haven't seen it yet, though.
Well, I haven't seen either of these movies. I'm just...
Oh, okay.
I think Lego is cooler. It should be more popular.
All I know is that the singing snowman and Frozen is the same guy who was, what's his name? Elder Cunningham in the Book of Mormon, the musical.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just heard his voice, and I was like, because I was watching a clip of that movie because I didn't know what it was all about or whatever. And I was like, his voice sounds just like Elder Cunningham. And I looked it up. It's like, it's him.
It's really good. Good for him.
Yeah, so...
He was on Broadway in one of the most popular musicals of recent years, if not all time.
And then he just stepped right down to being a goofy comic relief
in the number one... I think Frozen has usurped Toy Story 3's throne of most profitable animated film of all time. Which pisses me off a little bit.
Well, we can watch it one of these days for a movie review.
Me and my roommate, actually, we're both like 21-year-old male college students. Like, we should rent Frozen and watch it sometime. See what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah.
I told him he should bring
It's not Pixar, is it?
No, it's just Disney. But I mean, Disney has put out Wreck-It Ralph. That was not Pixar, and that was a really good movie. So maybe they're having a resurgence of putting out good animated movies. Other thing, Phil, that I'm upset about. I wanted to see that movie Transcendence because it looked like it had some potential. It's getting really shitty reviews.
I saw that Johnny Depp was the lead role, and I was like, sick of his shit. I'm not gonna watch it.
What was the last thing you saw Johnny Depp in?
I don't know, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing his face on movies.
It also had Morgan Freeman in it. That should give it at least 10 more stars out of 100.
Okay.
But it's got a
raise it up a letter grade.
Yeah, it's got a 19%, and that is kind of sad to me because I wanted to see it. But now,
what's it about? Johnny Depp is a robot man or something?
This guy, I think, he's like a super smart professor, and his body is dying because of cancer or something, so they upload him to a computer to keep his brain a thing, and then he's like half AI, and he goes crazy and kills people or something. I don't know. It looked interesting. I saw it was probably one of the better trailers I saw when I saw Captain America in theaters. Are you eating pizza? Is this a new thing? This is Phil's new thing. He has to eat on the show. He can't wait until we watch the movie like I'm going to.
And the way I always do it, I just slowly rise it onto the camera. You can't see it. You can't see it, but Truman can. Pisses him off.
It's unprofessional, Phil. Somebody's gonna.
I just like raise it up because he sees me on webcam right now, and I just like lift Just the peak, just the corner of the pizza or chip or cracker or whatever, just into the frame.
Phil, I was reading
And just chew
something.
on it. Huh?
You're like on one side of my screen. I was reading something on the other half, and
I brought it up 3 times
I
just so
heard you
that you could
giggling.
see it.
I heard you
Huh?
giggling.
Yep.
You're
I
giggling.
was.
I looked over. Just a little tip of a pizza coming up. So what brand?
Oh man, that's my
Where's
favorite
that
thing to
pizza
do now.
from?
What?
Where's that pizza from?
Little Caesars.
That sounds horrible. I hate Little Caesars.
I
Like the worst
just,
pizza.
I just don't like Domino's. I mean, sorry.
But they're an alright establishment. Pizza Hut's pretty
Yeah.
good too.
All right. Well, anyway,
Well, I guess this episode today is sponsored by Little Caesars
and Domino's.
and Pizza Hut. And nap time, because we took naps before we recorded.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. When I took that nap, like it's like an hour long. Yours
Mhm.
is 5 hours.
I took a Well, okay. I
But I
normally
felt
don't
like I
work.
was like just gone, like I was dead.
I've been getting a lot of 6 a.m. shifts, which is not my usual schedule. So if I had to get up every day at 5:30 and go to work, it wouldn't be a problem. But since I only do it once every 3 weeks or something, I'm just exhausted when I get home. Slept for 5 hours. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, what you say we actually get into the thing we're actually talking about today?
Oh right, we're gonna watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
This
See,
movie, I'm just gonna. It says 3 students entered the Norwegian woods to film a documentary on a bear poacher who claims that he really tracks trolls for the Norwegian government. Guess what it's called? It's Troll Hunter. Surprise! We're watching Troll Hunter.
See, last time we watched a movie, I provided Phil with a list of movies, and he got to pick one, and then we did the opposite. So I picked this one because it was the best one on the list that I had not seen, or was not or interesting, I should say, because there was some that weren't that interesting on there.
Like Sharknado.
Yeah, I think we've missed the boat on that one. The hype's all gone for that movie.
Yeah.
If we reviewed that, we'd be like reverse hipsters.
Yeah. we'd be stirrups. Or
How's that the reverse of hipster?
hipless. I took the stir part and then reversed it, making it
Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be hipsters, we'd be like hypesters.
ret
We weren't part of the hype.
ret ret spit. I think that's the best I could do. Good job. I will give myself one pat on the
Pretty good.
back now. I
All
give
right,
myself
so,
two so you can hear it.
This
Now,
movie
yeah.
came out in 2010.
2010.
So, it's good. That was a golden year of filmmaking. Such good films like the ones that came out on that year. Made a pretty good profit, Phil. Made a couple $1 million in theaters.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a dark fantasy film in the form of a found footage mockumentary. So we're essentially watching what is it called, Cloverfield?
Cloverfield.
I was gonna call it Cloverland, which is not a movie.
Cloverfield's pretty good.
I haven't seen it.
There's a lot of shaky cam, but
Yeah, I'm a little worried.
not as bad as people say it is. But it's also not so good that I would defend it.
Mm.
But anyway.
Well, we're not going to get into reviews necessarily right now, but critics gave this movie an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Not too bad. That's almost as good as Frozen. Almost.
So just mark Frozen off and put Troll Hunter as the best animated film of all time because trolls in that movie, of course, were animated. Or were they practical effects? Did somebody walk around in a 82-foot...
Phil, they found footage. People actually found trolls and filmed them.
Oh, in Norway?
In Norway.
I forgot. This is a different country. They do have different kinds of wildlife there.
Mm-hmm.
I am I am. I feel guilty now for assuming that trolls don't exist.
Yeah.
Maybe after watching this film, I too will come to the conclusion, or realization that trolls are out there, and you should too. I guess.
Now you know.
Now you know. After you watch this movie.
Now, audiences only gave this a 72. It's a C. But that's average.
C minus.
C minus. It's almost in D territory.
D-terror.
D territory.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, if this movie is anything like Troll
or Blair
Troll
Witch Project
2.
had a baby. That's what I get the feeling. It's probably going to be Trolls and Blair Witch Project just mishmashed together.
If somebody gets eaten and then they're gonna eat somebody else, I'll be very happy.
Okay.
Um.
Looks like these trolls are like Shadow of the Colossus, though. They're like ginormous. So, when are we gonna watch this movie, Truman?
Well, I mean, I guess we could watch it right now. You wanna watch it right now?
An intermission where people watch the movie.
Yeah.
Pause.
This movie is on Netflix. So if you wanted to pause the YouTube, watch the movie, unpause the YouTube, we'll talk about it. We'll have a little chat.
Yeah, we'll just have a little chat about this Troll Hunter movie that's on Netflix. That is TROLL, no space, HUNTER. 3 stars is what most people have rated it.
Wait, are you looking at Netflix right now?
Yeah.
Because it's 4 stars on mine.
Oh wait, this is that's your what you'd probably rate it.
Oh, mine doesn't do that function. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they give you. Yeah, you probably have the same thing. But anyway,
we'll watch this movie and we'll be back in a minute.
All right.
All right. So
B5 that's not a troll.
And we're back.
Whoa, that was a pretty good movie.
Whoa, spoiling your rating right now. All right.
No, I'll give you an official rating at the end of this episode, like
so,
we do.
Just like when I was watching Dread, I made some notes. Some pointers that I want to talk about, or at least mention.
All right. Real quick.
Yeah.
I'll just make the comment that we were both making the whole time.
That we were what?
That we were both making the Jurassic Park parallels.
Yeah,
with the them driving, looking in the rearview mirror. Of course, that's just
Mm-hmm.
That's just whatever. Oh, Jurassic Park. The power lines.
Yeah.
Were the electric fence, and somebody shut them off.
They lured one out.
You made that comment, Jurassic Park. And then what was the third one?
I was gonna say there was the goat.
Yeah, then the goat on the bridge, and then I was like, they're gonna eat the goat.
Also, just that Jeep they drove around looked a lot like the same style as the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's just a Jeep,
tour Jeeps. Anyway, this movie was Jurassic Park 4, so I mean that's coming out soon. We've already seen it. So
Jurassic World, yeah.
Jurassic World. It's called Troll Hunter.
It's called Troll.
It was made 4 years ago.
Yep.
I don't know. All right. So first of all, we didn't even consider the fact that this movie was made in Norway that it would not be in English. So of course I'd pick a movie that we had to watch subs the whole time.
But that's not a bad thing.
Nah, it's not a bad thing.
We're used to that. One pun.
That may turn some people off because they can't read and watch a movie at the same time.
Yeah. Passion of the Christ. Can't watch it. One Piece.
It's a good show.
But you gotta watch it with subs.
Mm-hmm. You hear that, Hayden?
Let's get back on top.
All right. So the first thing that jumped out at me. So basically, there's this guy who's killing trolls, and they're covering up the trolls. Government is by saying, "Oh, bears! Bears came from Russia, and they're killing all the cattle and all these things." But the dead bear corpses that they would like litter around, they're the fakest looking bear corpse I've ever seen.
Yeah, they just got their tongue sticking out. Blah. We saw the Wolverine last time we hung out, and I was just like, "That's it. That's the movie." Except instead of CGI bears, they're really, really crappy puppet bears. Crap it. They're just the worst bear puppets I've ever seen.
It made me laugh the first time I saw one.
I know. And they kept showing them. It looked like the same one every time.
So Phil, you've seen Cloverland, right? Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, yes.
How
You
did
have
feel?
not.
I have not. But how did the shaky cam compare? Was it easier to watch? Was it,
It was about the same.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I have
you
no
know, like
nothing.
people. That's what I was saying. Like it does get a little bit distracting, but of course that's part of the experience. It builds a suspense, I guess. If the camera's not always on the troll all the time,
Hmm.
people are shaking the camera around, being scared and stuff, and running and whatever. The only difference was there were so many trolls that they had to reveal that you got green that you could actually see because than Cloverfield would because there was like a reveal at the end kind of what the whole
Hmm.
monster looked like. But other than that, there were the parasites that Cloverfield had that were like greyhound sized running about bug creatures. But anyway,
Okay. It's just I had nothing really to compare this to. I was thinking like the only this style of mockumentary I've seen is like District 9, but District 9 is presented like, oh, like BBC filmed this and it's really good.
are
At least at the
mockumentaries supposed to be parodies all the time, or is this
it's
got
it's
an
just a
actual?
presentation format where it's just like,
Okay,
what? No, this is supposed to seem really realistic because somebody
okay,
was there filming it. It wasn't a studio. Some person filmed it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think we should or at some point, not on the show, but if you saw the Blair Witch Project, because I
Hmm.
haven't seen it, but I know that was kind of the first to set this format of
Hmm.
documentary
Made
that
it
is not
popular.
an actual documentary, huh?
Made it popular.
Yeah,
Made it profitable because Blair Witch Project was like, guys, you can make a movie with a kind of a small budget by just doing like shaky handy cams. And everyone's like, oh yeah, we could do that.
yes, yeah. I think that one. I don't know if that one has CGI though.
I
I
don't
think
know. I have no
it's
knowledge
a
of that.
witch. I haven't seen the witch in the movie. I don't know, but
All right. So next thing on my list, the beginning of the movies, these guys are tracking Hans, the troll hunter. But
yeah,
they're tracking him down. But they are the least stealthy followers
yep,
ever. They are
yep.
literally
It's
driving like right behind
there
his
he is,
car.
there he goes. And they'd follow him, and then like they were on the boat or whatever. Like after they were following his car, like literally like a couple yards behind his vehicle, he like finds them on a boat somewhere. He's just like, are you guys following me? Just
Yeah.
like not sure. And I was like, oh, duh. If you checked your rear view mirror like
Hmm.
once, like you did when you were
Hmm.
getting chased by all those trolls, then you'd know they were following you for all night.
But yeah, they'd always be like, "Oh, he's 20 feet over there. I hope he doesn't hear us talking about how we're following him."
Yeah,
But
in Norwegian.
in Norwegian. Next thing on my list, trolls smell Jesus. What they just do. I don't want to get bogged down on religion, but
Trolls smelled the blood of the Christian man.
hmm
Fee fi fo fam.
hmm at first, when they first like go into the woods with Hans, the troll hunter, um, he's like, "Do you believe in God?" Like, "Oh no, 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 we don't." And I thought that was really weird. But then as the movie goes on, you're like, "Oh, that's actually a thing."
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, 'cause trolls smell the blood of a Christian. I was just like, no, none of us believes or whatever.
But they did. Butterbomb.
One of them did.
One of them did. He could rub all the troll stank he wants on him, but nope.
Yep. Can't. Doesn't work. He said, "Don't you dare start sweating."
Yeah.
But he did. He's like, "Help me, Jesus." Paul was like, "Fuck that noise," and he grabs him and eats him. Spoilers.
I mean, hopefully you guys watch this, so obviously there's going to be spoilers.
Yes. You're supposed to watch it during the intermission.
Mm-hmm.
You broke the rules.
So it's your own fault if we spoil this for you.
Yep.
So before we found out that Hans the Troll Hunter is one of the biggest badasses in film history.
Correct.
I thought it was a little strange at first when he just brings these college kids out in the woods. He's like, "Go to the creek and take off all your clothes." I was like,
He's like, "Wash up and then rub all this troll,
the stanky grease on you."
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Okay, so Phil, what do you think of the presentation, the design of the trolls?
I thought the trolls were really freaking cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I like, especially the the Ringle the.
These trolls had really crazy names, so.
Tosselhagger or something like that. Tossle Crunch and
Toffee Crunch.
The Pringle. The
Pringle Man.
Ringle Hatch. I don't.
Whatever. The first one.
I don't know.
I mean, the first one with 3 heads. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was cool when the one with 3 heads shows up, and then he says, like, he gets all in the science behind the trolls. He says they're not actual heads, all right?
Yeah.
The heads grow as they get older, but they're not actual heads. They're just kind of protuberances. They just have a single eye on the middle head. And you can't see any of this detail in the middle of the night. So him just like going into the detail of all this stuff. And then when they were like, the reason why they turn to stone whenever you shine light on them is because the vitamin D doesn't.
Yeah. Since
doesn't transfer sunlight and something about calcium or something, so the body calcifies.
So our bodies, we take in sunlight that gets converted to vitamin D, which helps with calcium and stuff. Trolls, they can't go out in the sun.
Wait, what?
Trolls can't go out in the sun, so they don't get enough vitamin D, and their body can't deal with calcium in their body, something about building up gases in them, and then they explode if they get in the light, or they turn to stone.
Something like that.
Yeah. I actually had this later on.
I thought it was that they don't convert vitamin D well, and it overcalcifies their body.
Oh, maybe that's it, because that makes sense why they turn to rock.
Right.
Okay.
When it overcalcifies it when they're young, and their capillaries aren't as hardened over the years, they expand more instead of just whatever, and they explode. Yeah. But it was fine. I was able to suspend my disbelief. Is that the term?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't go into it so much that I was just like, okay, now you're making shit up. Like Man of Steel did when they talked about, the sun, it changes your your cellular abilities, so now you can breathe fire out. When they said that in the movie, I was just like, oh, whatever. But in Trolls, they only went into it a little bit so that it made a little bit of sense. But they weren't pounding it into you the whole time. This is real stuff. This is scientifically science.
Yeah. I actually had this later on the list, but I was like, yeah, troll science is grounded in real science. They had they had reasonable explanations for things,
but they didn't try to repeat the explanations.
It wasn't a science lecture. It was just like, oh, it makes sense in the world because here's a very small tidbit. Why? That's all you need to know. And now we're going to not talk about it.
That was perfect. I liked that. They went into it just enough to make it interesting, but not too much that you're just like, okay, stop trying to tell me this is real stuff. It's not. Leave me alone. But
when I first saw the trolls, Pringlefetch or whatever his name was,
Pringlesnatch.
I thought he looked really goofy. As as the movie went on,
Wait, are you talking about the three-headed one?
yeah,
The three-headed one is the Tossle Ragger or something. The
whatever.
Tossle something.
I thought he looked really goofy, and I was like, we can't. I'm gonna have to watch 2 hours of really goofy looking trolls. But I don't know if I just like accepted it or they grew on me. But
Yeah.
they were all right by the end. But I
Yeah,
do
yeah. The
think
Ringlesnatch, whatever it is. The the Ringle something is the one that they were at with the bridge.
bridge. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The
But
one that gave the main character rabies that they didn't talk about until like the end of the movie, and then it was suddenly a problem, and they didn't get in. They didn't figure out. They didn't show what happened to him afterwards.
well, I do think the trolls they kind of look like Muppets with a little of the Where the Wild Things Are, that movie.
Yeah,
Kind of like if those two had a baby, those two designs.
had a big baby.
Because some of the guys, some of Hans's drawings in his trailer looked a lot like the production art for Jim Henson's Dark Crystal, which is a movie with puppets. And I was just like, oh, that kind of looks like something that Jim Henson would make. Kind of look like Muppets. That's all I have to say. They look like Muppets and Where the Wild Things Are. Um,
Yeah, there was the mole ones.
the Mountain Kings.
Yeah, the Mountain Kings.
They look the most like the Where the Wild Things Are guys.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Next thing on my list, they sit down for breakfast, and that looked damn scrumptious.
Yeah,
I
when they were
want
eating breakfast, and what was he talking about? He was talking about
filling out the sheets. Like every time we kill a troll, I gotta fill
oh
out
yeah,
this.
and was it then that he started? Was it the nurse that was talking about the
The
calcium
nurse
thing?
was talking about vitamin D and calcium.
Yeah, when he was talking about that, that's when he was talking about the heads that they grow and
Mhm.
stuff, and that.
He is more talking about that one specific kind of troll. Let me close this door.
This
I
guy
forgot I
looks
opened
like,
this door. There we go.
huh?
I was getting loud stuff outside. I opened the patio door while we watched the movie.
Yeah, I heard that. It was loud and clear.
Mm-hmm. Um, so guys, if you ever want to catch a troll, just get some troll bait. And here, I'll tell you what troll bait is.
Yep.
You take one perfectly cube cinder block piece and half a bag of charcoal, pour it in a bear trap.
One-fourth cinder block. There you have it. He didn't even catch anything with that.
No, the
He
way
just show him baiting it.
they baited that one trap, and then right after that they baited them with sheep and a goat. So
Yep,
what was
that
really the
works.
point of
They're just
trolls?
showing this is a thing that they like.
Trolls eat rocks unless they don't.
They eat goats and ships.
And ships.
Ships.
Um, so Phil, you know how trolls are, usually in stories are like under a bridge.
That's what when we were watching the movie.
You gotta say
Anyway,
that again.
I said that's what I was saying when we were watching the movie.
Well,
I was
guess
like, I
what?
was like, oh, it's like there's a troll under the bridge and there's a goat up
The
on
director did it.
Billy Goat Scruff.
Billy Goat's Gruff. They've made it into a movie, or at least a scene from a movie.
Billy Groats. Is what I said. I'd just like to point that
Billy
out.
Groat's Guff. But I was really happy that we got to see a troll under a
Under a bridge.
bridge.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, as soon as he put the sheps on the top of the bridge, I was just like, this Truman, even though these are sheeps, because he didn't bring out the one goat yet.
Yeah.
I was like, even though these are sheeps, this is a direct reference to Billy Goat Scruff, because there's three of them, or there was two of them at the time, but I was just letting him know, troll under that bridge. There's going to be a troll under that bridge, Truman. And sure enough, there was.
Mhm.
And he brought one goat along because I guess they found a goat and two sheeps for this movie.
Yeah. I did think though the troll hunting on the bridge, his armor that Hans puts on, that's like, I mean, the ending was pretty cool, but I think the coolest moment for Hans, at least, the one where I was like, that's it. This is one cool guy, was when
Yeah.
he just put on all that armor. He's like, I'm gonna go get blood out of this thing. And
Yeah,
then,
he just walks past him.
yeah,
Yeah, everybody with the camera, all the kids and stuff, and he's just like,
just nonchalantly just walks
yeah,
up.
he says this is syringe. It's like some like scrap metal
It's massive.
syringe that he just like made or something
Mm-hmm.
with a cylinder and some whatever. Anyway, and they just like squeak squeak with the little syringe. It's hard for me to
Yeah.
illustrate this in words, people, but it was a big syringe, and he was like just
So you're just gonna walk up and get some blood.
yeah. I
Um,
don't even know if that had like an actual needle like that drew blood from it.
it was that big old. It was like a really big.
No, I mean like in real life. Like if that even had like a hole in the tip of the.
Oh yeah, I
It,
don't know.
it didn't look like it, but oh well, it could have.
Um, he did get tossed around like Loki, like in Avengers when Thor grabs
Yeah.
Loki and whips him around. That was the
When
one.
you mean Hulk
Hulk. What did
grabs
I say?
Loki.
Thor. Oh yeah, Hulk. Hulk tosses Loki around in the Avengers. That kind of happens to him. It's all right. His magic armor saves him, even though
Yeah,
trolls destroyed a
they're both
car.
Norse,
Yeah.
so there's a parallel too, but just because I thought of that, not
Hmm.
because it's significant.
But that scene, whenever he gets tossed around, that was like the one time where I saw the disconnect from CG to real life the most. When all of a sudden he's
Yeah,
as
in the
soon as he
in Troll Hunter, yes.
yeah, as soon as the troll touches Hans's body, you're like, oh, okay, well he's CG right now. Like you can obviously tell
Yeah,
that break.
yeah.
So come on guys,
But that's okay.
you spent like
No,
$3 million on this movie. Why didn't you?
no.
Fix it?
Listen. I think that part is fine because, like, what would suck is if Hans was CG'd the whole time he had armor on in the first place.
Well, they could have just they could have got a stunt double and used some wires and just like whipped him off
No,
the
they couldn't
bridge.
have.
Yeah, they do that in some movies.
Yeah, but they were just filming this with a hand, with
It
a
was more than a
camcorder
handy
and bridge.
cam. It was a pretty nice camera.
Yeah, I know, but it broke, so it can't be
Did
that good.
well,
Spoiler:
I
alert,
mean, did they get
camera breaks
smashed by a troll? Um,
when the Christian man gets eaten.
with that fucking troll parade, all those mountain kings are just like, honey, I'm home, going to that mine.
He's like, what's that smell with their big old noses?
Yeah, just big old honkers on their
Yeah,
face.
yeah. When they came in, I thought they were like alligator snouts, and I was like, oh, geez, that's awesome.
No,
But then I saw the nostrils on the sides, and I was like, oh, those are just really, really big schnozzles.
schnozzes, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Phil, what did you think of Christian man, camera guy?
They
Forget
showed
his
him
name.
like 3 times.
Yeah, but when he was all scared and the camera was aimed at his face, he's rubbing that
Yeah,
troll
yeah,
fat all over him.
yeah.
What'd you think of his acting? Did you?
I thought it was pretty good, but I knew it was him the whole time.
Yeah.
When the tassels smash, like sniffs or whatever, and then the badass guy Hans is like, one of you's Christian. Why didn't you tell me that? And he's like, it can't be you. You don't look like the Christian type or whatever to the girl. And she's like, what's that supposed to mean? And I don't know what that's supposed to mean, to be honest. But then the main guy who's like in front of the camera all the time, the girl's the sound girl.
Yeah.
And then there's a main guy who like is doing the documentary. There's Hines, who's the badass that he's
Awesome. The
interviewing.
troll hunter. But
And then there's the camera guy who you hardly ever see because he's behind the camera. But the main guy was just like, no, I swear, like my mom forced me to, sing in choir when I was like 7, but that's about it. And then he just like dismisses the camera guy, like he doesn't even bring it up. So it's like, of course it's the camera guy.
Well, my question for you more was like,
No, I know, I was getting there.
okay, keep going then.
But when it turned out that he was a Christian, I was just like, oh, it's him, Truman, it's him. And when when he was like rubbing the stuff on him, and he just yelled, "I'm Christian!" And then he's just like, "Shut up, and he said, "Oh Lord, help me, Jesus, help me, God." And then the trolls just like, "What's that?" Like they all just like start rolling over and stuff. The panic that the guy has, he looked sincere.
I was gonna say, like, crying or, nervous, like that kind of scene.
Yeah.
It's really easy to make it look bad, like acting wise.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you considered it to be pretty good. I thought he did a good, convincing job of being
I
scared.
thought he did the best job at being scared at that very moment throughout. Because after that, when he's dead, and they just have the broken camera filming them like a montage of them just sitting around being depressed, just right outside the troll cave.
Out in the sun. Trolls can't come out.
Yeah, I know.
They were safe. It's fine.
I know. They
Moral of the story, though, don't be Christian. You can be Muslim, but don't be Christian.
Spoiler alert. They get a Muslim to join them or whatever, and he's just like, "Is Muslim okay?" And they're like, "It should be okay, isn't it?" And the Hans said, "I honestly don't know."
It turned out to be alright.
Anyway. And she's like, "We're filming musk oxen, right?"
Yeah, I was a little like, how do you just call somebody and be like, hey,
film this? And she wasn't even like, "What the hell was that?" Whenever a troll did show up, she was just silent.
She didn't even ask, like, what happened to the other cameraman or anything like that.
She's like, "I filmed lions once." And he's like, "Lions, excellent.
That's good. You've been in danger before."
Yeah. Then they went ahead and filmed a fucking Colossus. Hans was a fucking badass at the end, though.
We'll get to that.
Okay. What's next on your list? Because I can't see it.
Well, I was going to make this point earlier, and then I didn't write it in my notes, so it's down here on the bottom. Norway is a really pretty country.
Yeah.
There's some really nice landscape shots in this movie.
I kept saying, looks like Skyrim, because it does.
See, I kind of understand why Cameron and Eric always talk about Norway all the time, because it's a beautiful country.
They're Norwegian friends of ours, by the way.
Yeah. No.
And every time they showed a character, I was like, it's Eric. That's him.
But no, it was really nice. There were some really cool shots. I enjoyed the scenery. All right, next. Thomas has rabies. Thomas has rabies, Phil.
It just says rabies.
Okay, well, at the beginning of the movie, he's like, I think these trolls are sick. That was Hans. He's like, something's wrong. We don't find out till the end.
Oh, I didn't even remember that part.
Yeah,
but yeah. He's like, there's piss everywhere.
He's like, trolls shouldn't be, like, we've had an influx in issues with trolls leaving their territory and wrecking stuff. Something's wrong. And then when they see all that piss everywhere, he's like, I think these trolls are sick. It's because they got rabies. They got rabies.
All of them. And, the main one, the ripen.
You mean the biggin? The Colossus?
No, what's his name? The tussle. No, not the tussle one. The Gryffindor.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
the Hufflepuff.
No, what the Griffin. What was it? It was
I don't.
The Ringlesnatch.
Oh, the Ringlesnatch.
Ringle Crunch, whatever it was.
The Toffee Crunch.
Yeah, the ring. I know it's a Pringle or Ringle something. It's a Ringle something.
Mm-hmm.
But he like I guess he bites or scratches. They never really got into that.
Mm-hmm.
The main character at the first part.
Yeah.
When he goes out into the woods or whatever, he comes back and he's just like, something bit me. But that's his story. That's just his story for what happened.
That was back when they thought the bears were attacking everything. So he was like, do you think a bear really bit you? He's like, it's a troll. It's a troll.
Yeah, I know that. But I mean, this is his story. He goes out in the woods, and he comes running out saying, something bit me. But he doesn't see it. He doesn't have any description of any kind or any sort of encounter or anything. Just, it bit me. Whatever it was, it bit me. And it was not, I don't even know what it was. But I didn't see it. And it was just like the back of his shoulder. And it looked pretty bad. But at one point they say scratch. And I was like, well, that would have made more sense. Because then he could have like turned around and it could have like slashed him as he was leaving. But I just found it hard to picture like a troll with its arms and feet behind it, just tiptoeing forward, bending forward to give him a little bit of a gnaw or a little bit of a scrape with his teeth.
Especially because like 50 feet away, they find their car just absolutely destroyed,
Yeah.
wrecked. Which I just realized something, Phil. That car had no tires because trolls like to chew on tires. It ripped the tires off.
Oh
Did you
my
notice
god.
that? I
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what happened to the tires on the car?
That's awesome. That
That's
was
really good.
great.
Way to stick to their
Man,
guns.
that movie is surprisingly well thought out and good.
Yeah, power lines.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Those aren't electric fences, you silly
ah,
documentary people.
it's kind of like a kid like telling you why things happen. Like
Yeah, but I
they're
liked it.
they're electric fences. Like no, they're power lines. No, they're not.
They go
They're
in a circle around. What was it? What was it? He said talking to the people who are in charge of the whole thing or something. The people who the power plant
electric
people.
company. Yeah,
The power plant people.
yeah.
I believe that was a show that aired on Cartoon Network about super children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that saved the world before bedtime. The power plant people, but they he says so it's weird that this is a complete circuit around this area of land, this power plant, or it
Yeah.
crap. These power lines, they lead in a complete circle around this like large territory of land or something and come right back to the power uh, station without
Yeah.
really going to any houses or any, sort of civilization of any type. And he says, "Don't you think that's a bit strange to the people who works there?" And he's like, it's a little strange. It's just not that strange. I don't know why you're fucking complaining about that or paying that close attention to detail. Said I just work here. He's like the whole owner of the thing, I guess. That's what I.
He was some sort of like chief technician or something.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, is this a school project or something? Are you a teacher? No. But this is a little strange.
He's like, I guess it's strange. I don't care. Whatever.
Turns out, those power lines, electric fence.
There were electric fences.
Even though they were like, how tall off the ground? Like, normal power lines.
Yeah, they were like 20 or 30, 40 feet probably up off the ground.
Yeah, so a troll couldn't just wade through them apparently. Those little lines or whatever, despite being made of rock or whatever the heck they're made out of. I don't even
It's
know.
also, that was like the area where the 200-foot tall, like big giant was.
Yeah, I
It's,
know.
if it's 200 feet tall and the power line's only 30 feet off the ground or something like that, it's not stopping anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, if it can't get on its hands and knees and crawl under, it can certainly just break through them.
It could step over it if it's 200 feet tall.
Oh, you're
It
right.
could just step over it.
That too.
Unless they're stupid, which probably is a thing.
If they just fell on those power lines, they're not gonna die, and those power lines are dead.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Speaking of the big guy, how
Huh?
about that? Speaking of the big old troll,
Yeah.
how about that final boss?
He was.
That boss fight. How was that?
I was hoping for troll on troll battles
Me too.
because they kind of hinted at that.
They talked about like this.
This is. Yeah. Go
This
on.
field is where trolls duke it out. They fight over their territory here, and we were like, oh man.
Yeah, there were a bunch of rocks all over the place, and he said this is where the woodland trolls and the mountain trolls come to fight. And I was like, oh Jesus, this is gonna be it. This is the last scene in the movie. Nope. But the last one was pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
It still would have been cool to see two trolls, like two different species of trolls, like throw rocks at each other and just beat each other up. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a Troll Hunter 2. Revenge of the Trollin'.
Okay, that's good. I thought that really the thing I got the most out of the final fight was how cool Hans is. He doesn't he wasn't scared. He wasn't worried or anything. He's just like, it's my job and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, and he just walked up to that 400, 500, upwards of 700
200.
feet.
It was 200, Phil.
Whatever.
He would just like park
Foot
his...
tall. Huh?
I was saying he would just like park his car, get out,
Walk up to it.
climb on top of the roof, flash
Yeah.
it with a flashlight, jump off the car, get back in, walk around.
Yeah, the flashlight was like a huge UV
Spotlight,
ray, spotlight thing that would turn the trolls to stone. Turn the trolls to stone. That's kind of hard to say for me for some reason. Anyway, but like there was like the last one that was 200 feet tall, and he walks up to it with a rocket launcher or something.
It's like a big old flare gun or something.
I don't even know. It looked like a rocket launcher that exploded like light somehow once it hit it, because it was like a missile.
It was like a blue-white light, so it wasn't like a... If it was a flame of some sort, it was like a super, super hot flame.
Like there was a rocket that came out of it,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Propelled it forward, but the blast inside the troll was some sort
it like
of
had
light
some
base.
sort of whatever, you released some sort of radiation or something. I don't even know, but anyway, exploded on the troll, and the troll just turned into like rocks. And what I thought was going to happen was, because he was like, you follow this road however far this way, you can get to civilization or something like that. And he walks up to the troll. We're like, oh shit, he's going to kill himself. He's going to be dead now. He's sacrificing his life for these people, because he said something like, I hope you got everything that you need on film. But anyway, he goes up to the troll and he like shoots it with that thing, and it just turns to stone. You just like watch it form and then just fall to the ground in a pile of boulders. None of it hits Hans, and you just see him put his rocket launcher down and walk right back up to the...
He doesn't put it down. He slings it on his shoulder and walks away.
Yeah, I of course, yeah.
Like a badass.
Walks back to the car, and you're like, yeah.
So Phil, this movie is actually a comedy, fantasy, horror. That's a genre. Do you really consider this a comedy? I mean, it's not like super
comedy
serious.
In the sense of like if we're talking classic kind of comedy with a somewhat happy ending. Sure, I wouldn't say it's a tragedy, because despite it saying these kids were never heard from again at the end of the thing, I still felt like, Hans killed that 200-foot tall troll. So I was cool about it, and it was called Troll Hunter. He hunted those trolls successfully.
Yeah.
Happy ending. It's all about Hans. I don't give a shit about the kids who were pestering him the whole time. The kid who got rabies. Or the Muslim that just showed up in the last 15 minutes of the movie and didn't really say much, except, we're filming oxen, right? And then didn't like complain when it turned out they're filming trolls. But anyway.
I was just like, I wouldn't... Like, you're right, it's not a tragedy. So it's got to be comedy or tragedy or whatever. But
if we're talking about by that standards, yes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't outright say it's a comedy. I mean, it's not super serious. I don't know. It's just like a lot of the reviews I'm reading, they're like, this movie's full of some really dry, good humor. And I was like, well, I mean... Maybe.
I thought it was pretty funny. We laughed at quite a few parts. Like the one part where there's the bin full of tires or something. And there's a dent in the metal. He says, troll tried to get in there. Kicked it, gave up, or he failed or something. But we were like, if he's as strong as some of the trolls that we've seen, he didn't try very hard. Because, anyway, trolls like to eat tires, people. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's why there were no tires on that car.
Yeah, and there was like a whole container, but it was just like sheet metal that was holding a bunch of tires. He was just like, tried to get in here, tried to get to the goods. Failed, and there was just like a dent in the metal, and we felt like the people who were filming we're just like hey, say that a troll did that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Them saying that, huh?
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's back to that little kid thing, like, it's dented because a troll did it.
Yeah,
that's why.
Those power lines are actually electric fences to keep the trolls in.
So Phil, I've got some reviews here. I'm just gonna read a couple. Tell me if you agree or whatever. Um, all right, the film is shot with handheld cameras in the standard mockumentary style, but the content is often hilarious, especially when the trolls show up.
I did think that their noses and stuff, like just the way they looked, was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. That's from
But
a
it wasn't too funny. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad funny. It just was like that's pretty funny. Like clever.
It's like, hey, there's a troll over here.
Yeah.
But that's from a positive review.
Like I was kind of humored to see that they weren't trying to make the trolls look badass or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, these are trolls. They got big noses. They got, hair. They're slimy. They're gross. They look like Grendel from Beowulf, the animated movie. I don't know why I chose that as a thing to say, but anyway.
Yeah.
They look like legitimate trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would look at those and recognize them as trolls.
They did a really good job of like fantasy art, pulling it into a real setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a review. It's so steeped in troll and paranoia lore, it risks boring you with the details sometimes, but also makes you more inclined to believe it. And the frights are real enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like, oh, it's science. There's some science there, just enough. Just
Not too much.
Just a little taste.
Yeah.
All right, here's one. It can't seem to make up its mind about whether it wants to frighten us or make us laugh. It does a little bit of both, to be sure, but not nearly enough to make much of an impression. So that was from a negative review.
Nah, I think any time that somebody can mix both of those together, it leaves a bigger impression on me. That's why I like Evil Dead 2 so much.
This review makes it sound like they thought the movie was just kind of bland and
Yeah, nah.
A leisurely, shambling, deadpan movie about a man who finds trolls and kills them. That's enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. It doesn't overstate what it's trying to say. It's just this movie, surprisingly, is about hunting trolls. Troll hunter.
Get you some.
Get you some. I think that's about enough on those reviews. They all about say the same thing. So Phil, it's time for us. Final rating time. We're actually going into Netflix and putting our actual rating on this movie.
Shit. I closed it.
Well,
all right.
Better. Pull it up.
Pulling it up.
So what do you think?
Netflix. I'm going to pull it up on my laptop instead of on my Xbox.
So, did you hate it? You didn't like it? You liked it? You really liked it? Or did you love it, Phil?
Alright. We got... So, let me see. I'm going to tell you right now, it's obvious. It's going to be anywhere from 2 stars to 4 stars.
Yeah.
Because I surely didn't hate it. Surely. Truly. So, let's see. I thought this movie was hilarious in some cases. Not so funny that I was like busting up laughing. We didn't like crack up and weren't able to stop. But there are times, like there are quite a few times that made us chuckle, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say I really liked it.
Hey, me too. 4 stars. Both
4
of
stars.
us. It's official. It's on Netflix.
4 stars.
4 stars.
Check it out.
That's
kind of the same rating it got on... What's that, Truman? Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my goodness gracious.
How much did that give it?
Rotten Tomatoes gave it in 82%.
That's the same as what we gave it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like 4 out of 5 stars, it's 80%.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess you can trust rating systems.
Yeah. You got us saying that. You got it saying that. Trust me, you will really like this movie. Will you love it? Probably not. But you won't hate it, and you won't dislike it. You'll like it, but you'll really like it too. That's all I have to say about that.
So yeah, guys, Troll Hunter. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. We'll be watching a movie again in a couple episodes. So maybe you have suggestions. Hey, you guys, check out this movie. It's on Netflix. You should take a look at it. If it's good, we'll add it to the pot, and Phil can pick from a list I make him next time.
Yeah, just like the list I gave Truman this time.
But how would you make a suggestion? Well, here's how. You can hit us up on Facebook. Tweet at us. I checked the Twitter. Nobody says anything on it. You can send us an email. ChatmenShow@gmail.com.
And if you if you have any problems or concerns or comments on the reviews that we gave this movie, you feel like we didn't mention something we should have, just go ahead and email us, and we'll just read it.
Or post a comment on Facebook. Not Facebook. On Facebook too, but on YouTube is what I meant to say.
No, not on Facebook.
Don't you dare put anything on Facebook.
You post on Facebook, and I'm gonna slap you in your Facebook.
But if you're on YouTube commenting, might as well like it.
Slap you in your face with a book.
Maybe subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're pretty good about getting videos out on time.
Right in the face.
Just right in the face.
You tune in next time. We'll be reviewing. We're not going to be reviewing anything next time.
We'll be reviewing our friendship, Phil. Me and you.
Right. How many stars is that?
3 stars.
Oh.
Out of 1,000.
1,000.
Better work on that.
You made a joke like that last time, didn't
you? I did. I was trying to not make the Flight of the Conchords joke.
Totally forgot that we did that on our last movie review.
It was just such a good joke. We had to say it again.
Yep.
And with that, I think we're done. I think we need to get out of here.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it. Bye, guys.
Have fun listening to this episode that you just finished. Probably if cue the ending credit music while I keep on talking like this, and just fade me out while I do this. And so.